Do you ever feel guilty for telling your son no? As moms, it's natural to want our sons to be happy. But what if one of the most loving things we can do is set healthy boundaries? In this episode, we'll explore what our sons learn when they hear the word no, and why boundaries help build emotional maturity and resilience. What is your son learning when you say no, and when you don't? Welcome to Raising Boys with Purpose, a Christian parenting podcast for moms raising teens and young adult sons. I'm Brooke, a boy mom and parenting coach, and here we talk about raising sons, building character, and preparing our boys for adulthood with confidence and faith. For more encouragement and conversation throughout the week, come join our Raising Boys with Purpose Facebook group. And if you'd like to receive my weekly email, join me at Substack. The link for all my social media is in the description. We've all seen the kids in public who are having a tantrum because they were told no. Often it's because they wanted something and were told they couldn't have it, or they were told it was time to go and they didn't want to. As the scene unfolds, it's usually the parent who caves. They get their child what they want, or say they'll stay for another 15 minutes. One thing always stands out. You can tell this isn't the first time this has happened. There's almost a rhythm to it. It's part of the way they interact. Now, fast forward 10 years. What do you see? There once was a king of Israel named David. This king had many sons, but today we'll focus on Adonijah. Adonijah was a good-looking young man who grew up a bit indulged. No one in his family ever challenged his motives or told him no. It clearly states in 1 Kings 1:6. His father never rebuked him by asking, "Why do you behave as you do?" So we may not really think about it, but saying no is an essential part of parenting. It's not always fun, but it is necessary. By establishing limits, we are guiding our sons toward emotional maturity. Most of us have said no to things like a later curfew, another video game, one more sleepover, or ordering something online that our son absolutely insists he needs. In those moments, it can feel like we're the bad guys, but often those small moments are where some of the biggest life lessons are learned. Healthy boundaries are fortified by the word no. Children and teens feel safe and secure with clear boundaries. Our consistency helps them know what to expect from authority, and it helps them learn to respect the personal limits of others. Our sons also learn to say no themselves and set their own boundaries by watching our example. This will help them as they grow and interact personally and professionally. When our sons don't hear the word no enough, they often develop a sense of entitlement. They begin to believe they can have anything they want and that the world revolves around them. They never learn to delay gratification or develop a sense of gratitude because there's always the expectation that they will be given what they want. On the flip side, when our sons learn to accept healthy limits, they also learn patience, gratitude, and self-control. Those are qualities that will serve them well in friendships, dating relationships, college, and future careers. So here's something to think about. What is your son learning when you say no, and when you don't? Adonijah never really learned boundaries, and unfortunately, he developed a healthy sense of entitlement. When his father became very old and infirm, Adonijah decided he should be king. He simply assumed he was the rightful heir. So, without consulting his father, he threw a massive, lavish feast and proclaimed himself the new king of Israel. Respecting boundaries does more than prevent entitlement. It also helps build resilience. As our sons learn to hear no, they learn how to process disappointment and become more emotionally adaptable. As moms, it's natural to want to protect our sons from disappointment. But some of life's best growth happens when they learn that disappointment isn't the end of the story. Being told no can be hard on them and on us. But our sons can practice handling frustration while they're young so that when they go out into the world as adults, they are strong and capable of bouncing back when things don't go their way. Unfortunately, Adonijah had not built that resilience. When his father found out what he had done, King David declared that Solomon would become the new king. On hearing this, Adonijah clung to the horns of the altar where they were feasting, because he was afraid of how Solomon would treat him. Solomon spared his life, but unfortunately, Adonijah's entitlement continued. Now, before we're too hard on David, most of us can probably think of a time when we struggle to say no to. Parenting is complicated, and sometimes it's easier to avoid the conflict than deal with the fallout. Often, we have a hard time saying no to our sons because we don't want to make them unhappy. We might worry that it will damage our relationship with them, or we might be trying to make up for something. In the long run, though, learning to say no when necessary is actually a great act of love. We love our sons enough to live with some short-term discomfort so they can learn long-term lessons. Proverbs 29:17 says, "Discipline your son, and he will give you peace. He will bring delight to your soul." Every time you set a healthy boundary, you're helping your son practice skills he'll need for adulthood. You're teaching him that he won't always get his way, but that he can handle it when he doesn't. You're teaching him respect, self-control, gratitude, and resilience. And if you're listening today and realize you've struggled with this in the past, don't be discouraged. Parenting isn't about getting everything right from the beginning. It's about growing, learning, and making adjustments along the way. Take a moment to think about any changes you'd like to make, then talk it over with your son. Let him know that you love him and that you want him to have a happy, fruitful life. Then explain there may be some changes moving forward. Those changes might be hard at first, but consistency builds trust. Over time, your son will begin to understand what to expect, and the boundaries you set today can help prepare him for the responsibilities he'll face tomorrow. Remember, this isn't about being a perfect mom. It's about taking one faithful step at a time. Small changes made consistently can have a big impact over time. And every time you lovingly say no when it's needed, you're not pushing your son away. You're helping him grow into the man God created him to be. If this episode of Raising Boys with Purpose encouraged you, please like this video and subscribe so you don't miss future episodes of this podcast. And if you're raising a teen or young adult son and want encouragement and practical guidance, come join us in the Raising Boys with Purpose Facebook community. The link is below. Thanks for being here today. Now grab your iced coffee, hug your son, and remember, you're raising him with purpose.